in a situation where a person is, what's his name? In the place where it's dangers or there's nothing, you can't do nothing for Shabbat. There, to get out of that place, you're allowed to walk a distance or travel as much as you need. Continue.
ואם שלח להודיע שהוא מחולל שם בשבת.
מותר
לו כמה פרסאות.
בכל גוונה.
כמה פרסאות בכל
גוונה. Okay, so now this is going to be a scenario where most people, let's say they go to cruise, right? So
how come the comma, you see the saying the grammatical question, on the line on top, comma was without the chaf was without a dot. Here the chaf is with a dot. Just a misprint.
מותר לך אפילו כמה פרסאות. Yeah, that could be. Yeah, it's the same thing. Okay, so he says like this. Today is very prevalent. Let's say a guy lives in, let's say for argument's sake, in Jacksonville, right? And he booked a cruise on Friday, or not Friday. Maybe that's a better example. Forget about a cruise. He is booking on what's his name? Hotel for Pesach, or hotel, just some hotel before Shabbat. There's a Shabbaton, right? Yeah, this is very, very common. So a community is making Shabbaton, and one of their members lives in Jacksonville. Here, let's say in Aventura. So they have a hotel that, they went to Trump Pavilion or whatever. So they're making a Shabbaton there. A guy from Jacksonville to travel here is what, 6 hours? By car?
Yeah.
About, right? 6-7 hours. So it will be allowed. This is what we're talking about. If he is scheduled to arrive and everything is taken care of for Shabbat, like a hotel, there's no problem, says the rabbi. You might think, wait a minute, well, I have a third of the day. This is more than a third of the day. This is more than half of a day. Good. It's not a problem because it's scheduled and his Shabbat is not going to be diminished in that way. Even more so, sometimes the hotel, Shabbaton, in a hotel is much more, more food, more delicacies, more, So in that case, the Shulchan Aruch says it will be allowed. But let's see. Mishnah Berurah. Alan, are you with me? Are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, very good. How many hours to travel from Jacksonville to Aventura?
It's even more than 6 hours.
How many?
6 hours, whatever.
7 hours, 8 hours?
Whatever, 6, 7 hours, yes.
I know to Tallahassee from here is 9 hours.
Yeah, but Tallahassee, it's a little bit west, northwest.
Yeah, northwest, yeah. It's in the Panhandle.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Gentlemen, let's go. Aleph, Siif Katan. What? Okay.
No, go ahead.
Siif Katan Aleph and Mishnah Berurah. So he says, Yoter mishalosh parsaot. So what exactly mean more than 3 parsaot? So the Mishnah Berurah says, when do you start? It's talking about mitchilat hayom. You started from the beginning of the day. והוא קרוב לשליש יום כפי מהלך אדם בינוני 10 פרסאות ביום. He says, an average person could walk 10 parsaot a day. So it's mashma, average person 10 parsaot. A third of that is a 3 and right. So again, so it takes 12 hours to walk 10 parsaot. It takes So what it is? That's what he's saying. It takes 4.
Each one size about 1 hour.
A little bit longer than an hour. Parsa, he's saying, 10 parsaot in 12-hour period. Right? Okay, so a third of that is 4 hours. Okay, very good. Okay, ובנוסע בעגלה או רוכב על הסוס ונוסע במהירה, יוכל לסע הרבה יותר מ3 פרסאות, עד שליש היום. So here, Mishnah Berurah already tells us that in his days they had cars, they had carriages, and if a person going on those things, which is obviously you could walk much more than, you could cover much more than 10 parsaot a day. Just with the car today, in 20 minutes, you could cover that almost, right? So he says, and that so it has to be limited. The time is a third of a day. However, the Bach says you are allowed to, even if you're traveling by a carriage or a car today, you are allowed to travel after half of midday. However, Mishnah Berurah summarizes that even according to Bach, you're allowed to do all those things as long as you are, what's his name? As long as you have plenty of time before Shabbat to prepare for Shabbat. Okay? Now, number 3 here, Ish Mazliach wants to add something. So Ish Mazliach says, "Ayen sham shekatav shenahagu leakel bazeh." So we'll look that their leniency is a reference to this. V'hanach lahem leIsrael motav sheyu shogegim. Okay, I don't understand why is he here. He's telling us that it's not a good thing to travel after Shabbat, after midday. וכמובן דמדינה מודה שאין להקל רק עד שליש היום, עיין שם וכן פסק בזון עובדיה. So Rav Ovadia also says any major trips should be done before midday.
I think even 1%, right?
Yeah? No, not even 1%. No, 1 second.
The halacha is that if you need to go 72 minutes.
Okay.
We don't go after. We don't do it after Chatzot.
Again, so how you have people traveling from Miami Beach to Hollywood? They could take them an hour and a half, 2 hours sometimes. On Friday, especially rush hour. Okay, so I mean, again, so you're saying it's not appropriate. Is that what he means? That's what sounds like. Like Rav Ovadia also agrees with that. That after midday, if you know that you're going to be traveling like this from work to home, even unless one second. What about the end of the Siman? Seif Aleph, the end of the halacha we just read, that if I'm traveling and I'm going to be arriving and everything is prepared for me, what's the big deal? Today, a person who goes to work, when is everything prepared for Shabbat? We have refrigerators, don't forget. We have everything today. We are a generation, we are a button, right? Press a button generation.
I think he's going to talk about it a lot more.
Yeah, let's see. Okay, Seif Bet, Seif Katan Bet.
Things can happen. I mean,
Yeah. Seif Bet, Lebeito. So, Hainu Limkom Sheshovet Sham. So again, if you're traveling, you should be returning to your house, right? Where is Seif Bet over here? V'yuchal le'achin tzorchei shel Seudat Shabbat. Ben sholech.
cases where I hardly made it to Shabbat.
The what?
I said I had a few cases where I hardly made it for Shabbat.
Oh, okay, go. But we're going to discuss that. Was it a mitzvah? Was it a veira? We'll discuss all that. Okay? So, v'yuchal le'achin tzorchei Seudat Shabbat. So Mishnah Berurah continues on that. Shulchan Aruch says, "Leveito hainu lemkom sheshovet sham." What does beito mean over here? Does not necessarily mean to your house. It means anywhere that you're going to be spending Shabbat. Okay? שהולך לביתו ואף שהוא מכוון שבביתו יהיה לו יותר עונג שבת, מכל מקום אסור שמא לא ידעו כלל מביאתו. So he says that בין שהולך לבית אחרים, בין שהולך לביתו. So now, so Mishnah Berurah explains like this. אף שהוא מכוון שביתו יהיה לו יותר עונג שבת, even if a person, again, what is he saying here? Why is he saying that? I'm going back to Shulchan Aruch one second. ויוכל להכין צורכי סעודת של שבת. בין שהולך לבית אחרים, בין שהולך לביתו, והנמילה כשהוא ביישוב במקום. אוקיי, no. שהולך לביתו. So Shulchan Aruch said, it's not no difference if you're a guest or you're going to your house. So Mishnah Berurah says, why did he say those words? Why did Shulchan Aruch said, doesn't matter where you're going? So he says, אף שהוא מכוון שביתו יהיה לו יותר עונג שבת, מכל מקום אסור שמא לא ידעו כל כלל ביתו ולא הכינו בשבילו.
I'm sorry, well?
No, I've read Mishnah Berurah number 3. I'm trying to figure out what's bothering Mishnah Berurah and this Shulchan Aruch. Shulchan Aruch is talking about mashma that what the scenario is not like we're in our little box in our 4 amot, right? But let's get out of the box for a second. Shulchan Aruch is talking about when a person is out of town traveling and he's trying to get to a destination. Oh. He's trying to get to a destination for Shabbat. So we have to come out of our box. Our box is what? Our reality is that we are constantly around our houses and we're working in our neighborhood, not a problem. But let's paint a different scenario. The painting of this scenario is, this is a merchant. Shulchan Aruch is talking about a merchant. Shulchan Aruch is talking about a merchant who is, what's his name? Now, before Shabbat, he's trying to what? He's trying to be ready for Shabbat. So it could be two things. One situation, thank you. One situation is that he is, he could arrive in his house, or he's going to be lodging somewhere else for that weekend, for that Shabbat. Sorry. So now we can understand what's going on here. Shulchan Aruch is saying that a person is traveling and he is on the way either home or to business, or he went on a long business trip, right? So he's telling us, if you are going to your business trip and you're in a city, you're within the boundaries of the city. Zohar.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're in the boundaries of the city, you should. That's it. Don't travel anymore. So if that's it. Maybe he has a few hours left to reach his house, right? So Mishnah Berurah says, even in that case, if he's going to be traveling few hours after midday, Yom HaGadol, that he might come to his house, but the problem is his household doesn't know that he's coming. You hear? So yeah. Picture yourself, not us, not this world. Picture yourself, go back 200-300 years ago, where we have a merchant. He's traveling from city to city, right, to do business. And here says Shulchan Aruch, it doesn't matter if he's a guest by somebody or he's even gonna go to his house. So if he is a guest by somebody and they know that he's coming, Shulchan Aruch answered the question already. He's allowed to travel after midday on Friday. But even if he's going to his house and they don't know that he's coming on Friday, hello? And it's going to be a problem for him. He's not allowed to travel on Friday after midday, even to his house. If it's going to take him more than 3 parsaot, more than a third of a day travel. That's exactly what we're talking about.
It makes sense.
Okay? Because, says Mishnah Berurah, it's asur because they didn't prepare for him for Shabbat. Shema lo yodu klal bibiyato, since they don't know that he's coming. Velo yechinu bishvilo, and they're not going to prepare anything for him. So therefore, what did he travel for? Okay? Rather stay here, where he is now, and have a proper Shabbat. ובמדינות אלו רוב בני אדם מכינים צורכי שבת ברווח. And he says, however, Mishnah Berurah goes back to our reality. Since in our reality today, there is plenty of Baruch Hashem le'anara for Shabbat. Everybody's very wealthy today. Imagine this. In olden days, they didn't have wine for Kiddush or wine for Havdalah. Today, you walk into the house, bli ainara. What wine? What are you talking about? You have everything for... Yes, so many different drinks. ולכן אין נזהרים.
But today nobody wants to drink wine. Everybody wants to drink.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's a different problem. Some people make. I heard some people make kiddush on whiskey. Oh yeah. לכן אין נזהרים בזה כלל בין שהולך לביתו או להתארח בבית אחרים. So today he says, the rabbi, we are not bound by all this traveling problem, because today most people have plenty. And in this case, even if he goes to his house, for sure there will be enough food for him and for the whole family. However, Ish Mazliach doesn't look like he's agreeing here. Let's see. Ish Mazliach says, number 4, Kaf HaChaim katav b'shem Eliyah Rabbah. Kaf HaChaim writes in the name of Eliyah Rabbah, le'achmir bazeh. He says, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Today, not today. there should be strictness. עיין שם, look over there, וטוב להודיע בטלפון מבעוד יום שיכינו בשבילו ברווח, ועיין בעוד, So all this is talking about as long as there is no way of contacting the family. So again, if a person is a merchant and he's coming back home, he's going to arrive 1 hour before Shabbat, but they don't know that he's coming back on that Shabbat, so then there's a problem.
This is as a guest? Or
No.
his house?
His own house.
As a guest.
His own house.
What?
His own house even. Basically, they have to know he's coming. So he says that Ish Mazliach adds, today is not a problem, make a phone call, right? Send a text, you're coming. So as long as they know you're coming, it's not a problem today. They're not to be machmir. Kaf HaChaim was talking about in the time, even in his time, again, Mishnah Berurah said they were contemporary, right? Mishnah Berurah and Kaf HaChaim were at the same time. So Mishnah Berurah says today because everybody has wine and plenty of food, not a problem. You could do it. Kaf HaChaim says no, be machmir. You should not do it. Again, this is not happening. It's not shaykh to us unless you're making a phone call.
What's a phone call? I'm going to my house.
Again, sir, where were you 3 minutes ago? You are a merchant who is traveling from city to city. You don't see your house for a month. On Friday, you might come to your house, right? But they don't know when you're coming. Since they don't know when you're coming, if you're going to be traveling after midday, you're going to come home. What's going to happen here? You're going to come home after already you have time to prepare for Shabbat. Right? Since they don't know that you're coming, says Shulchan Aruch, in the olden days, they didn't have plenty.
You're saying it's a surprise.
Yeah, that surprise would be asur. Okay?
That's how it was, yeah. Women, you should just sit and wait.
Yeah?
Coming, not coming.
Yeah.
That's the way it was.
Yeah. Okay, but today Mishnah Berurah says it's not a problem. You could come to your house because there's plenty. Kaf HaChaim says no, unless they don't know, still is not allowed. Like Shulchan Aruch. You hear what's happening? The machloket? Okay. Continue in Mishnah Berurah. Mimagen Abraham b'shem Aguda. Okay. So now says the Chafetz Chaim now our time. Let's come back to our time. ובהרבה אחרונים ראיתי כשכתבו ומכל מקום צריך לזהה לכתחילה שלא ילך או ייסע עד סמוך לערב. But most Rabbanim in our generation should be warning us not even to travel close to the evening. מפני שכמה פעמים נכשלים על ידי זה ובאים לידי חילול שבת. Today is more than... That's right. More than... Forget about it. It's a big trouble. I was when we were traveling in the winter time months, Hanukkah time usually, we traveled from New York to Lakewood. I would pick up the kids from the school 11:30, 12 o'clock. As soon as the bell is ringing, right, 12 o'clock, boom, on the car, it would start traveling. And even then, sometimes you had a traffic before.
It could take you 2 hours.
Is it 2 hours, Habibi? That would be a nice scenario. Sometimes 3.5 hours. Sometimes we would arrive 4 o'clock, 4:15, right? With candlelight.
From Queens or Brooklyn?
Brooklyn.
Brooklyn. My Rabbi, 12 o'clock, there's no traffic here.
That's what you think. What happens if there's an accident on the Arizona Bridge?
I don't know. I never.
You never know, Baruch Hashem. You're a smart man, smarter than me. You're smarter than me, but we had to do it. Why do you think I have some white hair on my beard?
From work, from Long Island to Brooklyn, every single time I remember when I walked into the house, 5 minutes before Shabbat, 10 minutes before Shabbat.
Zohar. So you see what's going on here.
You don't forget those moments.
Right. Why do you think I have a white beard on my beard? White hair on my beard. What do you think? Mama, you know how much fight? I was contemplating. Let me go to the shoulder for the police cars to go. It's emergency. Yeah. I didn't say I did it. Just in case anybody's monitoring this video. I didn't say I did it. I didn't say I took the shoulder, but the thought came to my mind. Yes. Okay.
It happened to me twice. It was mamash less.
Well, don't say that we went on that people go on the shoulder. That's not allowed. Okay. Kibal. Okay. Now let's see.
We're making U-turns on the highway.
Yeah. No. How many times that was done, right? Okay. Let's see. So now, what about if you're a guest by somebody? Like I told you, the scenario I told you earlier, a person traveling from Jacksonville to Aventura for Shabbaton. What's with this? כי בא לו שפיזה או אפילו בביתו כשבא סמוך לשבת מוסיפין לבשל בשבילו מחללין שבת. Wow, he says even more than that. If you are traveling and you're coming and you just notified your family, what happens? You came in late, they didn't know you were there. They'll throw in food right after Shkiyah. You know, they'll add more beans to the cholent. After Shkiyah. After Shkiyah. That will be a problem. וגם כמה פעמים.
Why would it be a problem? Okay, you came, but there's not enough food for you.
So that's what he says. Yes, there is not enough food. Exactly, that's what Shulchan Aruch says. And a lot of Kafachaim is machmir, unless you made a phone call. Mazliach says they have to know that you're coming. Okay? Well in advance, not 5 minutes before Shabbat. Continues Mishnah Berurah, וגם כן פעמים ירד ולא יגיע למלון ולביתו מבעוד יום עד שחושכה ממש. It will happen that a person will arrive to a hotel or to his house until literally nightfall. וכמה חילול שבת יש בהוצאה והכנסה ויציאה מחוץ לתחום ושביתת בהמתו. How many חילולים שבת he could do from one traveling? ולכן, therefore, כל זה ישים האדם לליבו וימהר לשבות אפילו בכפר. A person should be very careful, especially in the situations where there could be chilul Shabbat, and therefore settle in a city, even if you are, I'm going to come home, I'm going to enjoy my house more. No, Habibi. You're here already. Prepare yourself for Shabbat. You're stuck. Next Shabbat you will be with your family. ולא יסיתנו היצר לומר עד היום גדול והדרך טובה. Don't allow your יצר הרע fool you, says Mishnah Berurah. That there's plenty of time, there's no traffic, no accidents on the Verrazana Bridge. אך אם אירע שהלכת חשיכה והיה בבית השמשות בתוך תחום עיר. However, if a person did travel and he's already within 2,000 amot of a city, מותר להלוך בתוכה כיב סימן תו. So now, if he is already within 2,000 amot of the city before Shabbat, on Shabbat, Friday night, then it's fine. He could go into the city. וצריך לרד מהעגלה.
If what time?
A person is within 2,000 amot of a city and it's night already. That's it. Stars came out. 3 stars came out. So he says he's allowed to now walk into the city, not a problem. However, he has to make sure he's off the car, get off the horse, and Siman Reish Samach Vav, and as we will learn in the Siman 266. Over there we're going to go discuss more what problems does a person do, how to solve the problem, that if he is stuck and he is already in a stage of Chilul Shabbat. How to proceed from there will be discussed in Siman 266. Okay. So let's go back to our scenario. What?
What you're saying is he needs to park and to walk, there's no problem.
Yeah. If he's within 2,000 amot. If he's within 2,000 amot of the city. Again.
And if he's not?
If he's not within 2,000 amot, he has a problem, yeah. Big problem.
He has a problem.
Unless, no, so then we go back to the original stage. Remember the original stage, you're right. He parks his gets off everything. Now it depends. If it's a place of sakana, as we said, or maybe he'll discuss that now. Okay? Vehane mili keshuhu. That's what the Shulchan Aruch said, right? What did he say? All this is related to where he is in a place where there is a community. Retzono lomar, Berurah says, Sif Dalet. It means like this: B'makom shekalu hashalosh parashtaot, meaning where the 3 parsaot will finish, there will be a city. Ken katav al levush soto explain vayen ben Aliyah Rabbah and see in Aliyah Rabbah. Now there is one over here. Ishmatzliach says like this. So Ishmatzliach adds shekatav shemilashon maran nireh דקאי המקום שהוא בערב שבת בבוקר. So even that, says Mishnah Mazliach, it should be cautious that it's talking about on Friday morning that you are in the city. Because once you're in the city on a Friday morning, you could prepare to purchase items for honor of Shabbat. ובמקום שילך עד 3 פרסאות, לא יוכל להכין ולהצטרך ללך יותר, לא ילך. So he says like this. So if a person is in the city, Shulchan Aruch says you are to stop there and not to travel. Because if we're going to allow you to travel a third of a day, but in the end of the third of the day, the 4 hours, you're going to be outside of a situation where you could prepare for Shabbat. Ish Mazliach says, Shulchan Aruch says you cannot start. Okay? You cannot start your travel. You cannot start your travel. You must stay in the town and now stay here for Shabbat. Finish. That's it. You cannot do this. Again, traveling of 4 hours. 3 pasot, yeah.
Traveling of 4 hours.
Yeah. Let's say he's right now in the city. So let's say Friday, 10 a.m., he realizes now that, in the next 4 hours of traveling, he's going to be outside. He's davening over with the minyan. He daven shacharit.
It's like 3.5.
Whatever, what's the difference? 4 hours. Let's make it easier. Third of a day, 4 hours, right? So now, if it's 10 o'clock in the morning in this little town, he wants to travel to a different town. So it's going to take him, 4 hours traveling. He's going to be there, in the other town, it's going to take him, let's say, in 4 hours. Yeah, that's exactly what we're talking about. If he's traveling, it's going to cause him that he's not going to have Yom Gadol, enough time before Shabbat to prepare. Let's say a person travels to a different town. He arrived there 2 p.m., winter time. What's happening at 2 p.m.? Can you find any stores?
3 you can stay at 3, 4.
No. In New York?
What do you mean?
No.
At 2 o'clock?
Yeah. Again, Shabbat is 4 o'clock. At 2 o'clock, you're going to have any stores open?
Okay. 2 o'clock, no, nothing.
That's it. So that's what Ish Mazliach says, you cannot start that travel. That's what Shulchan Aruch means. You must stay where you are and prepare for Shabbat. Even though it's way before midday. Doesn't matter. Since you can't tell them, okay, go now and then get stuck without preparing. Then you're going to be even, what's his name? You're going to have no enjoyment at Shabbat, which is not allowed. לכן כתב בברכי יוסף בשם מור וזקנו. Okay, as written over there. Let's see in Mishnah Berurah Siv Hey. We're almost finished, gentlemen. שאין המקום יישוב בטוח, מותר לך. So, all this that we told you to stop traveling, as long as you are able to prepare and have enjoyment for Shabbat. But says Shulchan Aruch, what about where there is no way that you could prepare anything now? You're in a place, there's nothing here. We're not talking about where there's no kosher items to buy. If you're in town, there's always vegetables you could prepare. You could do something, right? Make yourself something that you could make, Shabbat honorable. Doesn't have to be meat, other stuff. But where you're not in any town, you're in a desert, you're in a forest. A person is in this forest or in the desert. None of you, chas v'shalom, should be ever. She'eno makom yishuv batuach. And it's not even a safe place. Here said Mishnah Shulchan Aruch, you could travel as much as you need to get to safety. Says Shulchan Aruch, hey, Siv Katan Hey, she'eino makom yishuv, da'amida b'derech eino makom batuach. And standing just on the path, settling on a road when people are traveling, that's not safety. Any passerby will come by and could harm a person if he sees that he could gain out of it something. So the halacha is, any pathway is always a danger of being endangered. Remember, you don't know what people are walking and traveling this ways. ולכן אפילו יש עמו צידה כדי שלצרכי שבת, מותר לו ליסע משם עד שיבוא למקום בטוח. It says even more than that. If you have plenty of food you're a merchant, you're a wholesaler. You have so much. Says the rabbi, even in that situation, he should not stop and park before Shabbat on the road because anything could happen, and you should continue traveling until you get to your destination. Vav, as we already learned before. Siv katan vav, kama parsaot. What does that mean? You could travel as much as you need. Obviously, ומכל מקום יזהר שלא יתאחר לבוא עד סמוך לערב וכן צריך. Okay, but again, Mishnah Berurah is saying that you should be very, even though Shulchan Aruch gave you allowance to travel as much as you need to, but you have to be very careful that you should make preparations not to nichalel Shabbat. Again, this is talking about obviously not a person going with a caravan, not with an envoy, where we really knew that he relinquished all his rights to himself. This is talking about a person traveling on his own. Sometimes we had such merchants that they go on their own, not with a caravan, not with an envoy. In that case, this is what we're talking about. But remember what we learned earlier, that if you're traveling on a boat or on a caravan, where you are actually, the reality is you have no longer rights to yourself. When you hire a caravan to take you, and now he is the madrich, he is the what's his name, the leader, and you're the follower. This, what we just now discussed, is where your sole individual, you have all the rights to travel, when to stop. And we're going to end over here, and Bezat Hashem tomorrow, Friday. I hope to see you all here. B'shad Torah Mazliach in the Midrash with Seif Bet. Have a wonderful day. Have an easy. If you need to make parnasah, make it without any problems. A benekel with good health and a lot of siyata d'shmaya.